Okay, today we'll talk about database. Okay, database. So it is a very important concept in because day-to-day life we are working with databases. Okay, various type of databases. Okay, so first we'll know what is a database. Okay, so what is a database? What? Okay. The question is what is a database? So database we can tell in the word you have data, the word data. No? So data means in day-to-day life we are dealing with data. Okay, if you are dealing with lots of data or large amount of data, we call it a database. Okay, so we can tell what is a database. Database is a large collection of large collection of well organized data. Okay, large collection of organized data. Okay, so basically it is a structure. Okay, uh, collection of large collection of organized data. Okay, we can call it a database. Okay, so database basically we have two types. Okay, we have two types: manual database and electronic database. Okay, manual and electronic or computer based. Okay, so we have two types in as databases, okay, manual and electronic. Okay, electronic or we call it computer based databases. Okay, so manual ones are the older types. Still we use that. Okay, manual electronic database such as file-based systems. Okay, such as file-based systems. Okay, we do it all the data is collected manually, and also we keep it manually. Okay, we have to organize it manually and keep it manually. Okay, so it will be some. It has some advantages and disadvantages as well. Okay, so what are the examples here? Manual databases. You can say a dictionary, okay? A book dictionary also, dictionary or phone directory. They are also manual databases. Okay, dictionaries are well organized. No, it's according to the alphabet. It has organized the words and the meanings. Okay? And phone directory also like that, well organized, large collection of data. Okay, so it is manual. Okay, the thing is they have more. They have advantages as well as disadvantages. Okay, so what are the advantages? What are the features? Okay, so they are difficult. Actually, they are bit large in size. No, larger, larger in size. Okay, we have to have much space, much physical space to store them compared to electronic database. Okay? Example dictionary, dictionary, the manual one. It's large, no, large dictionary is a large book. Okay, but if you go to electronic one, it is you can store in your computer or in your mobile phone, small app, no, it's a small app, so it won't take any physical space. Okay, so like that, and phone directory also like that. Okay, phone directory also. The manual ones are much bigger books. Okay, but here electronic you can have as a small app. Okay, application. Okay, so like that. Okay, and file-based systems. Okay, such as in some schools they still have file-based system. No, so each student have a file with their registration details, parents details, and also their class details. All them have a file. Okay, birth certificate, those things. Okay, so it takes a lot of space in the office, okay, to store the student file. But if you have electronic database, you will need a one or two computers only. Okay, very small amount of physical space needed. Okay? And also these have they are less efficient and accurate, okay, because it will take more time to search, more time to update, because we have to search it manually. Okay? And it can have a lot of human errors, no more human errors, because we are doing it manually. But when you go to electronic computer database, it will have less errors, so it is more efficient. Okay, and less manpower needed. What do you mean by that? Okay, to operate, you have to have only one or two person, but here you have to have, okay, many employees, okay, to handle a manual database. Okay, so those are the comparison of these two types of databases. Okay, so currently we are dealing with the electronic database. We are moving this to this one because these have more advantages and also more secure. Okay, more secure because we can put passwords and lock the database to prevent unauthorized access. But here it is difficult. Okay, and also less likely to be damaged. Okay, this one, not like physical one. So those are the types you have to remember on databases. Okay. Okay. Then we'll talk about DBMS. Okay. What is DBMS? Okay. DBMS means database management system. Okay. Database management system. Okay. DBMS. So we'll see what are they. Okay, what is that? Okay. So DBMS is basically a software. Okay. Software or system to manage a database. Okay. So I told you earlier, database is only a structure. Okay, that containing large amount of data. Okay. So that structure have to manage by someone. Okay. That means to create the structure, to update the structure. Okay, to function the structure and delete the necessary things. So for that you have to have a person. You have to have something. So that one is called DBMS. It's a software that manages the database structure. Okay. So DBMS we have popular DBMS we use. Okay. So example. Popular one is simple one, Microsoft Access. Okay, Microsoft Access is a popular simple DBMS software. Okay, Access. Then we have OpenOffice or LibreOffice Base. Okay, Base. Okay, so those are example for DBMS, popular DBMS software. Okay, popular DBMS software. Okay. And also Oracle also Oracle database, DBMS, okay. Oracle, okay. MySQL, MS SQL, Microsoft. You have another one, MS SQL also. Okay. These are DBMS. So what does it do? Okay. If you get a database structure like this, okay, it's a database. So you have DBMS here, okay, and the user is here. Okay. So user. Okay. So people who use the database, okay, have to give commands to DBMS. Then DBMS will do the task for us. Okay, so we have to give the commands to DBMS. Without that, we can't work directly in the database. It will be difficult. Okay, so we need to have a DBMS as a middle person to manage the database. Okay, so basically the simplest one is access and base. Okay, we can learn from that one. Okay, so before go into DBMS, we have to learn basic concept of database. Okay, so database, how what are the concepts, okay, and how it is made. We have to get to know that first. Okay, so first we will do what are the main concepts of database. Okay, database, you have four main concepts. Okay, main concepts you have to understand in database. Okay, the first one is tables. Okay, very important, tables. Then queries, okay, forms and reports. Okay, so first one is tables. Okay, so what is a table? What is a table? So table is the basic structure that stores data in a database. Okay, so we have to first create the tables when you are creating a database. So inside table you will have you can store the data. Okay, so we will see what is the table. Okay, so this is the basic structure. Okay? Basic structure to store data. Okay, basic structure to store data. Okay, so table, you know already. Table is something like this. Okay? Table something like this. Okay, you can have columns and rows. Okay? You have columns and rows. You have, okay. So these are columns and these are rows. Okay, but in database we call them with different names. Okay, different names. So example like this. Okay, you get a table with so in a database you have a table name, and you have something like this. Okay, so these columns we call it fields. Okay? In database we call it fields for the columns, and for the rows we call it records. Okay? Records. Okay? So in this table you have 3 fields and 2 records. We don't get this one, first one. Okay? Because first one we have the field name. Okay, so we don't get the first one, so we have only 2 records. Okay? That means data about 2 students. This is student table now, so data about 2 students. Okay? And we have 3 fields. Okay? So this is the basic thing about tables and how we store data. Okay? So further we have to discuss about how to make a table, okay, with the fields. Okay? Because for each field we have data types. Okay? Data types important when you are doing tables. Okay, so we'll further move on with data types. Okay, Okay. So when you are making tables, you have to identify and give the correct data type for each field. Okay. So you can see in the name field, you have only number numeric type data. No, you have 100 and 101. 100 for the first student and 101 for the second one. Okay. So actually it's name, no, so name is not suitable here. So we will get ID. Okay. ID number. ID number. So first one is 100 and second number is 101. So you have only numbers. Okay. Then second one, age. Age, you have 15 years and 16 years. So you have both numbers and letters. Okay, both. Then class, you have only number. Okay, you have only number. So those are the types we have to select. Okay. So data types, when you are selecting data types, you have these types. Data types, you have number. So if you select number, you can put only numeric values. Okay, numeric values. Okay. So 0 to 9 any numeric value you can put. Okay, but any other value you can't put. Okay. Then we have text. Text. Text in text type you can put any value. Okay. Maybe a number, maybe letters, maybe characters, anything, and mix of those also you can put. Okay. So any type of data you can put, any type of data. Okay. So for this one we have to get text value. We have to get text type data because it has both numbers and letters. Okay. So text is suitable for this one. Okay. We can't put numbers because it has text. Okay. So these are the main types. Then you have also currency also. Currency, if you put monetary values, okay, like such as dollars, rupees, those things. If you are putting money or something, monetary values, you have to put currency. And there's another one, date type. Date time type. You can put if you are putting a date or something, date or time, like this, something like this. If you are putting a date or time, you can put date time data type. Okay. Then you have another one, Boolean. Okay. Boolean type. Boolean means you can put only two values, true or false, or yes or no. Okay. Those are the data types you can put. Okay. So you have to select according to your table. I think you understood that. So here for this table we need only number, text, and again number. Okay. This type you have to select. Okay. Okay. We'll continue with this tables. I have two tables. First one is student table. Second one is marks table. Okay. So I'm going to explain further more about tables concept. Okay. So previously we discussed about data types. No. So here number only number data type. Here text. This is date type you can put. Here all are numbers. Okay. So in the database you have concepts called primary keys and foreign keys. Okay. Primary key and foreign key. Okay. So mostly we have primary keys and foreign keys in a database, especially in relational database. Okay, relational means the tables are related together. Okay, related together. So we'll see how we connect these two tables. Okay. So in the first table we have a primary key. Primary key means a unique field that can identify each record. Okay. So here you have a student table. So students are identified normally by their admission numbers. No, here admission numbers in a school or in an institute, you have an admission number or registration number. No, that should be unique. Okay, that means it is given to particular student unique one. Okay, so other students cannot have that number. Okay, so in here the primary key is admission number. Okay, so this one Manoj is 100, Namal 101, Kavindu 102. Okay, because the names we cannot take because can have similar names, and date of birth also can have similar dates. No, but admission numbers we can uniquely identify each student. Okay, so this is the primary key here. Okay, this is the primary key, or we call it key field. Okay, so this field you can identify each student uniquely. Okay, then second table. Second table, actually I have to tell in primary keys you cannot have repeated values. Okay, in primary keys should be a unique value and cannot have repeat values. Okay, cannot have repeat, and also it cannot have null values. That means you can't left it blank. Okay, cannot be blank. Okay? So these are the conditions in primary keys. Okay, so it is unique for each one and doesn't have any repeated values, and also it is not blank here, so it is okay. But here look at the second table, you cannot take any primary key, no, because term you have repeated values. Marks or average marks can also have repeated values, but it's not there. But you can have, no, averages and admission number. Also, you have repeated values in here. Okay, so here you don't have any primary key. Okay, then there is another concept called foreign key. Okay, foreign key. Foreign key. Okay, the foreign key is also simple. It is actually we can tell the definition as a primary key of another table. Okay, foreign key is a primary key of another table. Okay, so you can see here in marks table admission number. Admission number has come from this table. You can see it's a primary key of student table. So it has come here as a separate field. Okay, so you can have it connected with these two columns. Okay? Because this is the common field you have in these two tables. So we can call it a foreign key. Okay? So foreign key is a field, primary key field of another table. Okay, primary key of another table. Okay, and it is the one that builds builds relationship between tables. Okay, so without a foreign key you cannot build or you cannot connect the tables. So in here, admission number. Okay, admission number. Here is foreign key. Is foreign key. Foreign key. Okay. So we can connect these two. Okay. We can connect these tables. Okay. With the admission number field. Okay. Then you have a relationship there. Okay. Then you can learn what are the types of relationships you have. Okay. Types of relationships also you have. Okay. So we have to go through the records to see the uh, relationship. Okay. So here you can see admission number, you have only single values for each one, 100, 101, 102. But here same column, but you have repeated values, like 100 two times, okay, and others one time. Okay. So you have repeated values. So the types you can tell relationship types. You have three types: one to one, one to many, and many to many. Okay. So you can see this is not one to one. No, one to one means both sides have to have unique values. Okay, both sides has to have has not have any repeated values. Okay, but here you can have one this side, but here we have repeated values, so we can call it many. So this relationship is one to many. The symbol is like this: one, and the other side is many. Okay, one to many. Okay. So one to one we put as this, then one to many is like this, many to many is like this. Okay, infinite symbol. So normally in many to many you have three tables. You have to have three tables. Okay, three tables. Normally it should be first two have to be one to many, and the second two has to be many to one. Okay, so all together we call it many to many. But here you have only two tables. This side is one. This side is many. Okay. So between student table and marks table, we can call it one to many relationship. Okay. I think we understood that. Okay. So we'll go to questions. What type of questions they can ask with the database? Okay. So basically, they will give some tables in a question, and they will ask some questions. First, they can ask what are the primary keys of these tables. Okay. So you have to write, you have to answer, identify and answer what are the primary keys. So when you are writing primary keys, you have to write with the table name. Otherwise, it won't. It will be wrong. Okay. So here primary key is admission number. So you have to write admission number in student table. Okay. That is the correct way to write admission number in student table. Okay. So here second table we don't have. Then they will ask what is a foreign key and find the foreign keys in this table. So foreign key also you have to write with the table name. Okay. So admission number in marks table is the answer. Okay. If they are asking uh, what is the foreign key in this table, you have to write admission add number in marks table. Okay. Then sometimes will ask about data types. Data types I think you can write. Okay. Then sometimes they will ask how many records and fields in a particular table. Okay. So if they ask how many records and fields here, records you have 1, 2, 3, 4 records and 3 fields. Okay. Those are things they will ask. Then at last they will ask what are the relationship or what is the relationship between these two tables? What is the relationship between student and marks table? Okay. Good. You can write one to many is the type. I explain how. No? One to many between student and marks table. If they ask the other side, what is the relationship between marks and student table? The other side, you have to tell many to one. Okay? So you have to consider the side they are asking. Okay? What side they are asking. Okay. Okay. So that is all about database tables. Okay.